The Blind Side tells the true story of Michael Oher, a quiet and homeless teenager who eventually becomes an American football star. When the story begins, Michael is 17 and basically has no stable home. His mother struggles with drug addiction, so Michael moves from place to place, staying wherever someone will let him sleep for a few nights. For a while, he stays with a friend named Stephen. Stephen's father, Tony, wants both Stephen and Michael to attend Wingate Christian School, a private school with better opportunities. But the school has tough admission requirements, and Tony knows that getting the boys in will be difficult. So, he goes to Coach Cotton and asks if he can help, since both boys are athletic and might be valuable players. Coach Cotton does what he can. Stephen gets accepted easily because his grades are good. Michael, on the other hand, has very low academic results, and the teachers see him as someone who won't be able to keep up. Cotton tries hard to convince the principal that Michael just needs the right guidance. Eventually, after some discussion, they decide to give Michael a chance. Michael starts school, but it isn't smooth. He struggles with classes, doesn't finish homework, and barely talks to anyone. After a month, the teachers meet to discuss his progress. Most of them assume he's simply not smart or not trying. But one teacher, Mrs. Boswell, says that Michael actually listens closely in class. She had given him an oral test and discovered that he understood more than they thought. To her, it's clear that he's capable. He just needs support and a different way of learning. Meanwhile, Michael overhears an argument at Tony's house. Tony's wife is upset that they're allowing Michael to stay because she feels it's becoming a burden. Not wanting to cause trouble, Michael quietly leaves and starts sleeping wherever he can, on couches and hallways, even outside buildings. He picks up leftover popcorn from stadium seats to eat and washes his clothes at a laundromat sink. One afternoon, Michael tries to greet some little kids at a park, but they run off because his large size scares them. A young boy named SJ approaches him and tells him, in a friendly way, that he should smile more so people don't assume he's dangerous. Later, one rainy night, SJ spots Michael walking alone in the cold. His mother, Leigh Anne, notices him too. She walks over to him and asks where he's going. When she learns he plans to sleep outside the school gym, she simply tells him to come stay at her house for the night. Michael is surprised when he arrives. They live in a huge, warm, comfortable home. SJ's father, also named Sean, owns restaurants, and Leigh Anne is an interior designer. They're wealthy and live very differently from anyone Michael has stayed with before. Leigh Anne gives Michael blankets and sets up the couch for him to sleep on. Even though she and her husband don't know anything about Michael's past, they decide to help him for now. The next morning, Leigh Anne finds Michael trying to quietly leave. She stops him and invites him to spend Thanksgiving with their family. Michael agrees, and it becomes a turning point. He begins to feel comfortable around them, and they slowly begin treating him like family. Leigh Anne notices that Michael only has one set of clothes, so she takes him shopping. Michael insists he has clothes at his mother's house, so they drive there. But the house has an eviction notice, and his mother is gone. Michael has no home to return to, so Leigh Anne buys him new clothes anyway. As time goes on, Michael starts staying with the family permanently. Leigh Anne gives him his own bedroom, the first real room he has ever had, complete with a soft bed and a computer. He is deeply grateful, and the family warms up to him fully. At school, Michael's grades slowly improve because teachers, especially Mrs. Boswell, figure out how he learns best. Around this time, Michael also joins the school football team. He has the size and strength of a natural offensive lineman, but he doesn't understand the game at all in the beginning. Coach Cotton gets frustrated because Michael keeps making mistakes. Sean and Leigh Anne, however, believe in him, and SJ even helps train him. Little by little, Michael starts improving. Michael quickly becomes part of the family in every way. Sean takes everyone out for dinner to celebrate Michael's progress, and Michael even joins them in their Christmas card photo. Their relatives and friends learn about this and are surprised, especially some of Leigh Anne's friends who make racist comments about Michael being a big black boy living near their daughters. Leigh Anne gets annoyed and leaves the meal early. At home, she talks to her daughter Collins about Michael. Collins says she's perfectly fine with him living there, and Leigh Anne feels relieved. At school, Michael still deals with some discrimination from classmates. Collins, however, treats him kindly and doesn't care what others think. The two slowly become close in a quiet, comfortable way. Michael keeps practicing football, even though he doesn't understand the rules at first. He works seriously, and SJ supports him the whole time. Over weeks of training, his skill and confidence grow. One day, Leigh Anne talks to Sean about adopting Michael officially. Sean is unsure at first. They barely know anything about Michael's past, and he worries about jumping into something serious. but Leigh Anne is certain. She feels that Michael needs them, and that they're already functioning like a family anyway. After some discussion, Sean agrees. When Leigh Anne starts the process of becoming Michael's legal guardian, she learns more about his past. She finds out that Michael's father has passed away in an accident, and his mother is struggling with drug addiction. Technically, Michael is already a ward of the state, so adopting him wouldn't be difficult. But because his biological mother is still alive, Leigh Anne decides she wants to talk to her first and get her permission. She begins looking for Michael's mother, Denise Oher, and eventually finds her in their old neighborhood. When Leigh Anne meets Denise, she explains that she wants to adopt Michael legally, but isn't trying to erase Denise from his life. She promises that Denise can visit him anytime and will always remain Michael's mother. Denise, seeing that Michael will have a better life and more opportunities with Leigh Anne's family, agrees to the adoption. This makes it official. The boy who once had no stable home finally has a real family that cares about him. Life slowly becomes more stable for Michael, but challenges still pop up. One day, Michael is driving with SJ when they get into a car accident. Thankfully, no one is badly injured, but Michael feels terrible and blames himself. He apologizes over and over to Leigh Anne for letting SJ get hurt. Leigh Anne reassures him that the accident wasn't his fault at all. In fact, she tells him she's grateful. When the airbag deployed, Michael reacted quickly and protected SJ with his arm, which prevented him from getting badly injured. Meanwhile, football practice continues to be tough for Michael. Coach Cotton keeps getting frustrated because Michael is still learning the rules and keeps hesitating on the field. He has the size and strength, but he often holds back because he doesn't want to hurt anyone. One day, Leigh Anne steps onto the practice field and talks to Michael directly. She explains his role in a simple way. As an offensive lineman, he's supposed to protect the quarterback the same way he protects his family. This finally clicks for Michael, and after that, something changes. He becomes more confident, plays more aggressively, and starts to understand the game. His improvement shows quickly. Soon, he becomes one of the key players on the team and good enough to compete at the college level. When game day arrives, Michael's school plays against another tough team. In the beginning, they struggle and Michael is hit with racist insults by one of the opposing players. At one point, the opposing team even cheap shots him, which makes Coach Cotton furious. Seeing his coach defend him so strongly motivates Michael, and he decides to give the game everything he has. He plays hard, stays focused, and still treats the opposing players respectfully, despite their insults. His performance helps turn the game around, and his school eventually wins. Coach Cotton couldn't be prouder. SJ, who is always filming everything, records Michael's highlights during the game. Later, he sends the footage to college football programs around the country. The coaches are impressed, and soon, Michael receives attention from multiple universities. Not long after, several college coaches come to watch Michael practice in person. Coach Cotton calls Michael over and tells him to show them what he can do. Michael performs well, and the coaches immediately want him on their teams. Scholarship offers start coming in. The only problem is Michael's academic record, which still isn't strong enough for a full scholarship. To fix this, Leigh Anne hires Miss Sue, a private tutor, to help Michael catch up in school. Miss Sue works with him regularly, and with effort, consistency, and the support of the family, Michael begins improving. By graduation, his grades are good enough to qualify for a college scholarship. This is a huge milestone for him, something he never imagined earlier in his life. After considering different offers, Michael eventually chooses to attend the University of Mississippi, partly because Leigh Anne and her family are connected to that school. His choice becomes a hot topic, and media outlets start covering the story. Before he can officially enroll, Michael is asked to meet with the NCAA for an interview. Since he's a student athlete, they have to make sure everything is fair. The investigator questions whether Leigh Anne's family helped Michael, only to influence him into joining their favorite college team. The assumption is that the family may have used their kindness to guide him toward Mississippi for their own interests. The interviewer's tone and doubts make Michael uncomfortable. Feeling confused and hurt, he leaves the interview early and tries to sort out his thoughts. Afterward, Michael confronts Leigh Anne directly and asks whether she had any hidden motives for helping him. He's upset because the idea that someone might think his family only helped him for football makes him question everything. Feeling overwhelmed, he leaves the house and disappears for a while. Michael goes back to his old neighborhood to find his biological mother. Instead of finding her immediately, he runs into an old friend who is involved in a local gang. The friend invites Michael to hang out and drink beer with them. Things seem fine at first, but one of the guys makes a disrespectful and inappropriate joke about Leigh Anne and Collins. This crosses the line and Michael loses his temper, fighting them off and storming out. The next day, after cooling down, Michael thinks about everything: Leigh Anne, the family, and how much support he's received over the years. He finally decides to call Leigh Anne. They meet up and have an honest, emotional talk. Leigh Anne explains that she supported him because she truly cared about him and believed in him, not because she wanted to use him. Michael realizes he misjudged the situation and apologizes. With their bond restored, Michael returns home. When it's time for the follow-up NCAA interview, Michael gives a clear and honest answer. He chose Mississippi simply because that's where his family went, and he wants to stay close to them. The NCAA accepts this explanation. Michael is then officially admitted to the University of Mississippi. Before he leaves for college, he says goodbye to Leigh Anne and the rest of the family. They're proud of him, excited for his future, and grateful for how far he has come. The movie closes by showing real photos and information about the actual Leigh Anne, Sean, SJ, Collins, and Michael Oher, who eventually fulfilled his dream of playing in the NFL.